Californians joined millions of Americans today in taking to the polls to make their voices heard on this Super Tuesday. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. There are several races we are keeping an eye on tonight, from the race for the White House to congressional races to city attorneys and state mental health reforms. San Diegans turned out to cast their votes today.
Tonight we have team coverage. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe is downtown with where the race for San Diego mayor stands right now, and CBS 8's Richard Allen is standing by with a look at the San Diego City Council District 4 seat contest.
But we begin tonight with CBS 8's Jesse Began with developments in California's U.S. Senate races. Jesse.
Yeah, guys, a hot race. A lot of eyes were on it. Important for California and important for the standing and Congress at this point. Now, this was already the most expensive Senate election in California's history. Mind you, we're only at the primary. It's also different this year, and there are technically two contests for the same position. Let's get to some results and break it all down. Here we go. Adam Schiff in the lead with 36% of the vote at this point. Steve Garvey second with 30%. Katie Porter with 15%. Barbara Lee in fourth with 7%. Now that's for the full term for the Senate seat. Now we also talking about the partial term. Adam Schiff in that race with 33%. Steve Garvey with 32%. Now we have two concurrent elections again because of Senator Dianne Feinstein's death in September of last year. Her death prompted a special election we're having now. The winner will hold the office from November to January to finish out Feinstein's term. Then whoever wins the regular election in November will assume office for a full 6-year term afterward. Right now, LaFonza Butler is in the seat after Governor Newsom appointed her. From the start, Senator Butler said she would not be seeking the office for a full term going into after tonight and into November. Schiff and Garvey there going for a Democratic and Republican race in that one, which in true blue California, as people call it, is going to be interesting for such a big seat. Marcella?
Thanks so much, Jesse. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is celebrating his advancement to the general election this November. He was greeted with cheers as he arrived at the Democratic Watch Party downtown.
Gloria has pulled in 52% of the vote, more than doubling. Second place Larry Turner at 23%. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe is live downtown with more on what Mayor Gloria is saying tonight. Rocio.
Yeah, well, the unofficial election night results suggest that incumbent Todd Gloria and Larry Turner will be facing one another in the November general election. And tonight we heard from Gloria as he addressed the crowd here tonight, and he says he feels good about the results so far. Now, Mayor Gloria was expected to advance to the November election, but the question until now had been who would he run up against. Now, right now, those numbers suggest it could be Larry Turner. He's a Marine. He's also a police officer here in the city of San Diego, and this is his first political campaign race. Last month, there were questions about his residency here in the city, but a judge ruled that a lawsuit challenging that won't be moving forward unless Turner advances to November. Now, Genevieve Jones-Wright, Daniel Smiszowski, and Jane Glasson are also running up against Gloria. All of them have been have criticized the mayor for mismanagement of city funds and resources. Gloria, however, tonight says if reelected, he will continue to invest in city infrastructure, housing, and the safety of all neighborhoods.
Whether we're working on gun violence prevention, climate action, or just doing simply paving the damn roads, I want to make sure that it's very, very clear that San Diego is a city that's on the move. It's a city that's getting stronger every single day, and with 4 more years, we will get the job done.
And again, that was Mayor Gloria as he addressed the crowd here tonight as he seeks to be reelected. And the unofficial election night results include all of the mail-in ballots received prior to today, election day, as well as the 10 days of early voting. But again, all of the election results are unofficial until certification of the election, and that is set to take place on April 4th. Back to you.
Thanks, Rocio. 6 of San Diego's city council seats are on today's ballot, including the vacant District 4 seat previously held by now County Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp.
There are 3 candidates fighting for this open seat. Here's where that race stands right now. Henry Foster, apologize for the graphic right there, the lack thereof. Henry Foster III is at 53%, and if that stands, he will take over the vacant seat immediately.
CBS 8's Richard Allen joins us live from Lincoln Park with more on that race. Richard.
Well, that's right. As you said, this special election is to replace former council member Monica Montgomery Stepp, who's moved on to the County Board of Supervisors after former Supervisor Nathan Fletcher resigned last year amid a sex scandal. In the meantime, residents here in District 4 have lacked a direct representative on City Council since December, something they say they desperately need, especially after last month's devastating floods here. And tonight we learned who that representative will be. With a clear majority of the vote, Henry Foster III declared his top priority as San Diego City Council's newest council member.
Continuing to bring the voice of the community to City Hall.
A community that is still reeling from last month's floods.
It was very sad, very, very sad.
Michael Gonzalez has lived here in Mountain View for 34 years and says he's tired of feeling like his community has been forgotten.
With that vacant spot right now, who's going to voice for, just a regular Joe like myself? We need somebody to speak up for us. We're not in Sanitas or nothing, but you know what? We're just as important as the next guy.
Eddie Sanchez, who dropped off his ballot earlier this evening, says the need for representation is more important than ever, as his community is still trying to recover.
When you consider the recent floods that we just had, nobody to stand up for this district was hurtful.
Foster says helping District 4 to continue to recover will be first and foremost on his agenda.
We have a lot of families that were devastated, and I think there's more that the city of San Diego can do.
Also stressing that his district has lacked representation on the council long enough.
And I'm just really looking forward to getting back to work and being there for my community and my family to make sure that we are at the table and that we get what we deserve.
And the Registrar of Voters has 30 days to certify these election results. Foster says he plans to work closely with the San Diego City Clerk to be sworn into City Council as soon as possible after that certification takes place. Carlo and Marcella.
Thanks so much, Richard. People in Chula Vista are also voting on their city council's District 4 seat. The seat is vacant after Andrea Cardenas resigned from the position just last month. Cardenas and her brother each pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts of grand theft for falsely obtaining a COVID relief loan for their political consulting business. There are 5 people running for this seat, including Cardenas. It was too late to take her name off of the ballot. Here's where that race stands right now. Cesar Fernandez is in the lead with 23%. Rudy Ramirez in second place with 20%. And there she is, Andrea Cardenas in third place with 19% of the votes. And this could get interesting because I'll just note right now that only 19 votes separate Cardenas and Ramirez. Now, city law says a person convicted of a felony cannot hold office, but her charges could be reduced to misdemeanor status by the judge, so we'll have to wait and see. The top 2 candidates will advance to the general election in November, so that could get interesting right there. When it comes to measures, Proposition 1 is a major one on the ballot in California.
Prop 1 is the $6 billion behavioral health services program and bond measure, which would make changes to the current Mental Health Services Act. CBS 8's Jesse Pagan is back with the results so far. Jesse.
Yeah, guys, another one we've been tracking that could make some major changes to California law, especially with something such a big topic as homelessness and veterans in California. That's huge, especially for us here in San Diego. Now, a yes vote on Prop 1 supports renaming the Mental Health Services Act to the Behavioral Health Services Act, expanding it to include substance use disorders and people without mental illness, changing how the 1% tax on income above $1 million is spent, adding 11 members to the Oversight Commission, and issuing $6.38 billion in bonds to fund housing for veterans and people experiencing homelessness, which includes up to $4.4 billion for mental health care and drug and alcohol treatment facilities. Let's get to some of those results. As you can see right there, Prop 1 behavioral health bond, the yes vote is in the lead with 52%, the no with 48%. But if you look at the numbers on that, the yes, 1.6 million, the no, 1.5 million. So it's not too far off from each other. Now, supporters of Prop 1 say this will help build out voluntary housing and reprioritize resources for people with the most need. And opponents say it would do the opposite of that and divert funding from mental health resources to government-financed housing. But as you see, as of right now, 11:09 tonight on election night, the yes votes have it on that. Carlo, Marcella?
Thanks, Jesse. Long way to go on it. More than a third of delegates are being decided tonight as millions of voters cast their ballots for who they want to be the Democratic and Republican nominees for president.
As Danya Backus reports, the race for president is expected to be a rematch of 2020 between former President Trump and current President Biden.
Former President Donald Trump moves closer to becoming the Republican presidential nominee with projected wins in a number of states holding primaries this Super Tuesday.
They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. This is a big one.
President Biden is also the projected winner in contest on the Democratic side as the race shifts towards the general election.
Joe Biden better win, all right? I mean, I think the country, there's an awful lot at stake.
Donald Trump has the answers. We need him.
Voters in more than a dozen states cast their ballots with more than a third of delegates up for grabs. While Trump and Biden are clear frontrunners, neither can clinch the nomination this Super Tuesday. CBS News exit polls show immigration and the economy are the top issues on Republican voters' minds.
I'm going to vote for anybody who says they're closing the border.
Nikki Haley, Trump's remaining Republican challenger who kept her focus on Super Tuesday, picked up a projected win in Vermont. CBS News exit polling in Virginia showed most of her supporters identified as either independents or Democrats. 6 in 10 said their vote was mainly against Trump rather than for Haley.
We'll be voting for Joe Biden in the general election, but I put in a vote for Nikki Haley today.
Some Democrats chose not to vote for Biden to protest his handling of the Israel-Hamas war.
I voted uncommitted because I want to send a message that we are tired and we want a ceasefire.
CBS News polling shows President Biden's support among key Democratic groups is not at the same levels as 2020. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And make sure to stay with CBS 8 for the latest on California's primary results. We have updates on all of the races on CBS8.com/election.